Hi, Avyansh. Good morning.
Hi, Miss. Good morning to you as well.
Are you in Singapore? Should I say a good afternoon? Okay, no. All right. Fine. You're in India?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice to know that. All right, Avyansh, let's get started. So, today we'll be having a small demo. So, before we move into that, I want to know if you have already given SASMO before or not. That really helps me to design the questions well for you. Say.
I think the holidays before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You gave that.
No, the holidays before SASMO, right? SASMO's Jan, right? Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm
Not
asking
Jan,
like
April.
whether you have given it before.
No. No, I've
Any
not done it.
previous years? Not that. Okay. Yeah. Because see, I'll tell you what. Have you given any other Olympiads like IMO,
No,
SOM?
Miss. No,
This is
Miss.
the first time you're starting with SASMO. I must appreciate that's really good.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you the basic borderline difference between SASMO and the other Olympiads which you see around you. So the other Olympiads are targeting around knowing whether you have the school curriculum done or not. Suppose let's say that if there's a question on triggering or finding out the area of a particular figure, it's like going by the basics only. Like it's length into breadth for a rectangle, and there are two, three rectangles. You have to just club them together and do it. So it's a kind of lengthy but simple. What is more interesting in SASMO exams is that there they have logical reasoning inculcated in almost every question. So you have to think in a different way. I'll just do that with the help of an example, actually. That's a previous year question paper I want to share with you. Uh, I think we should start with this question first. What is the sign? Do you know what this sign means?
Uh,
Oops, I moved up again. What
no,
this
Miss.
This sign is called as factorial, and the meaning of that is given to you over here. If you see, it means 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So technically, when we are doing factorial of a number, we are multiplying that number with all its predecessors. Okay, we are multiplying the number
Yeah.
with all its predecessors till 1. So it's like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 till 1. Okay.
So if the number's 7, you do 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3. So,
Correct. It's just like that. So it's like if you multiply this, what would you get? 120?
yeah.
Right? Yeah. Can you tell me the value of 4 factorial then?
41 or 4 factorial.
Careful.
It's 24.
That's correct. 24 is right. So what we need to focus on or think about is that they are asking you just the last digit for 2014's factorial. That means you're going to multiply 2014 with 2013, 12, 11, 10, and so on. So here you have to apply your brains and not do any mathematical calculations. Tell me what can be the possible value at the end.
Uh, I think one of the possible values can be maybe 4 itself.
Um, Not really. See, I'll tell you one thing. So this is where I told you the difference. Okay, Abhyansh, the difference here stands for if you do normal number system, you would get questions around convert this into a particular form of number, expand it, find out the Roman numeral, multiply larger numbers, things like that. But in SASMO, what they do is they check your general understanding. For example, any number, think of a number, Abhyansh, which ends in a 5 and other number which ends in any of the even digits. What would be the last digit of that number? Multiply 5 with 2 and tell me the last digit. Multiply 5 with 6 and tell me the last digit.
0.
Yes. Absolutely. That means 5 getting multiplied with any of the even numbers is always giving you a 0 in the last digit. That's a well known fact, but we have never thought about it separately, right?
Yeah.
So that's what you have to use in this question as well. When you keep on multiplying, even in this case also, you see a 5 and a 2 together. So you know that your answer is 120. But in the case of 4 factorial, which I asked you, Abhyansh, you
Uh-huh.
remember there was no 5 and therefore the answer ended in a 4. I
Yeah.
mean, not a 0. So that means the moment you have a 5 in your number and any even number with that getting multiplied with it, you will eventually get the last digit as 0.
So then I think the last digit have.
Will be 0 only, Avyansh. Okay? It is bound to be 0 over here. Okay. I want to give you another question. Let's see how to. You just tell me the approach, okay? I'm not worried about the r- real answer or something like that. I just need you to think of the approach and tell me what do we need to do here. So, okay, this one is easy. Let's try the fifth one. I'll just remove this. Yeah. Read the
Okay.
question. The answer is just yes or no. And the only interesting part of this question is to understand the meaning of dozen.
So what I think you should I think you should divide 4,028 by 12.
Absolutely. That's correct. And just check if it's completely divisible or not. If it leaves behind a remainder, then the answer is no. And if it does not leave behind any remainder, the answer is yes.
This it leaves a remainder.
Exactly. Correct. It leaves a remainder of 8. So therefore, the answer to this question would be
No.
N or no. That was simple. And as you saw, it was just knowing the word dozen. That's all. Okay, another one. This one is pretty interesting. Okay, look at this one, and you have to be careful on this. This one is interesting. So when I say interesting, you have to think twice. Try to imagine or visualize this question.
So basically, miss, every hour it makes a jump of 6, but then
Hmm.
it slides down 4 centimeters. So
Hmm.
basically, it just jumps 2 centimeters each hour.
Overall, 2 centimeter. That's correct. That's the correct
Yes.
part. Hmm.
So 2 times 25 equals 50. So that means it took 25 hours for him to get out of the drain.
That's where I want you to think again. So you're right. You're right till here, and you're also correct with dividing the value and getting the hours. But as I said, get out of the drain. So it's like Avyansh, if I jump 6 centimeters and then fall 4, doesn't matter. So
Almost, then it takes 26 hours.
that's more. I think you can do it in less because once he jumps out, even like there's no point of falling back to 4. Think practically. If he jumps out of the well or the drain here, once he's out, there's no falling back 4 again. See, I got your point. Now let's think like this. So you said that in 25 hours it should pass it. It's correct. But just come a little down. Like Just come to maybe 20 hours. At 20 hours, how many centimeters will it cover? 40?
Yes.
Yes. Now, in the 21st hour, it will make a jump of 46, but will fall back to 42. On 22nd hour, it will make a jump of plus 6, that is 48, but fall back, that is 44. Now look what, Avyansh, what's happening in the 23rd hour? You tell me.
It becomes he jumps plus 6, it equals 50.
So there it is. He actually jumped off in the 23rd hour only. But as you said, ma'am, he will fall back. He would not fall back because the moment someone touches the line in the race ends, right?
Yes.
It's just like that here. This is the catchy point in this question, Avyansh, that you don't have to go directly by dividing 50 by 2. Rather, you have to check the nearest multiple by which it reaches 50. So here I see that in the 23rd hour, with a plus 6, I am actually crossing the 50 centimeter mark. So it doesn't really matter if I fall back to 4 or not. Once I'm on the ground, there's no falling back. Got it?
I thought it meant like if you're like already like like if you jump on the top, you fall back in. I thought that's what they meant.
I
So
know, I know. That's the general thought process, Abhyansh, and that's the reason why these people, including me, I am also a part of this organization, have made a question like this. Who knows the general thought process of the students? So there's one benefit I must tell you, that I would not just help you to get through the syllabus and understand these type of questions, but I can give you a different perspective also, because I'm also associated with making questions with this organization. So it can actually help you in telling you what they think the students think. And if you know the weak points like which they have highlighted, you would never make a mistake in that. That's one good thing. Anyways, so that's actually the difference between any other Olympiad versus the SASMO exams, Avyansh, that any other Olympiad would have actually expected you to do the simple calculation of 50 by 2. But since it's SASMO, and that's why it's had divided 6 and 4. If this wouldn't have been divided into two parts, Avyansh, then your process is absolutely correct. Okay? Let's try another question. Here we go. The diagram shows a rectangle with its two diagonals. What percentage of the rectangle is shaded? That's actually a theoretical question, Avyansh. If you know the theory, you can answer it like in a fraction of a second. But if you don't know it, you will make a note of it. Simple. Do you know what the diagonals of a rectangle do?
no, miss.
The diagonals of a rectangle break the rectangle into 4 equal parts. That was the theory behind this question.
Yeah, but it says two diagonals. So they're like
Yeah, these are the two diagonals. Diagonal number 1 and this is diagonal number 2. So when they meet at a particular point, Avyansh, they are breaking this rectangle into 4 equal parts. So if it's 4 equal parts, then what percentage is shaded?
25%.
Absolutely. So the only thing to catch here in these questions was the theory part. So we will be learning some basic theories also in the
But
class.
miss, I thought it was 25%, but when you look at the size, the
I know.
differentiating size,
I know. The reason for that is the difference in the height and the base. So it's like, take an example of 20. 20 can be written as 5 into 4 and 20 can be written as 10 into 2 as well, Avyansh. So it's like the area is 20 for both of them, but the height and the base are differing. That's the reason. That's the reason they look different, but they technically are the same area.
So even though they look different, you just check what portion is shaded, right?
Yes, Abhansh. This is like, see, the exam is like testing you in various ways. Sometimes it tests you on the mathematical end. Sometimes it checks your IQ, that is your logical reasoning behind the question. Sometimes it checks whether you read the question properly or not, just like that Durzen question. And this is another type where they test you on the basis of the theories you know, the theories of mathematics, geometry, like that. Okay?
Miss, we don't learn geometry and those things in our school, so that.
I know. I know that's the reason. I think like if we continue with our classes, we need to have a basic session also, like few sessions covering the basics of all the chapters, and then moving on to SASMO altogether, since it's your first time. By the way, which board are you studying in currently, Avyansh?
IB.
IB. Okay, so they haven't started geometry yet.
No, miss.
Okay, got it. One last question for today. Not one last, the second last question for today on your screen right now. That's percentages. Have you done percentages?
Yes, miss.
Okay.
Miss, when you learn percentage, we learned how to like find it of a number, but this one I don't think we.
Okay. You give me few hints, I'll do the work for you. What is the first thing which comes to your mind?
So I thought when I said find the overall pass percentage for the class, since the class that has 60% has 30 students, and the class that has 80% has 20 students, I thought you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
80% of 20 students passed and
Yeah.
60% of 30
60% of
students
30
passed.
students passed.
Yeah. What's the value of 80% of 20?
80% of 20. Miss, doesn't it go into decimals?
Let's see. So there are two methods of doing it, Avyansh. First, 80. See, this sign is called as the percent, right? Per means
Yes.
divide and cent means 100. So divide by 100. Off in BODMAS means multiplication, 20. So if I go by this calculation, I know it's 1. I get 5. So 20 divided by, 100 divided by 5, 20 is 5. And then 80 divided by 5 goes with 16. Am I right?
Yeah.
So that's the actual method of doing the calculation. I got 16 students who are passed in this first class. Okay. There's a second shortcut, Avyansh, which you can do mentally. I saw you doing some calculations mentally and then use your pencil. So you can also do it mentally. The very easy method is just remember that 10% of any number is equals to the number divided by 10. So if I ask you 30 is 10%, what would be your answer?
3.
3. And if 10% is 3, then 60% will be 3 times 6, which is
3 times 6, which is 18.
That's right. So you understood what I did mentally, right? 10%
Yeah.
of 3 was 10, sorry, 10% of 30 was 3. So 60% is like into 6. And that's how I get 3 into 6.
Wait,
It's like I'll
so
write
then
it
you
down, you will
miss.
understand better.
Wait.
10% of 30 is equals to 3. So 60% is into 6. So into 6 here also. Like that.
It's 18.
Okay.
Oh.
Now,
Yeah.
can you add up these two people, the number of people who got passed overall?
Yes.
How much is that? 16 plus 18?
Miss 34.
That's wonderful. And how many total people are there?
Miss 50.
Very good. And how do we find out the percentage of a fraction?
Uh,
By directly multiplying it with 100.
100.
Finish. Can I cancel 150, Avyansh?
Yeah.
What
You,
would I get at the top?
you would get 2.
And what's 34 times 2? That's my answer.
That's 68.
Lovely. That's 68 percentage. That means overall in both the classes, the passing percentage is 68%.
Okay.
You got the steps?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I have a very important question. I don't know if you know the answer to this. How was the class?
It's good.
Thank you, Abhyansh. Yeah, your mom was there. I think she wanted to
Yeah.
discuss something. Yeah.
Where's the camera?
Hi,
Hi,
ma'am.
ma'am. This is Savita here. Thank
Hello.
you so much for taking some time off to help my son. So the thing is a little bit of background. He's not done any Olympiads so far,
Mm-hmm.
and then he is in an IB background as well.
Okay.
So we were wondering if this course might help him because we tried putting him in another Olympiad thing. There it wasn't challenging for him. He kept
Yeah.
answering, and then I felt he was not ready for the Olympiad like AM or something because it was not challenging enough for him to think. So that's when I realized I found your Olympiad.
Okay,
Yeah,
great. So I just wanted to know one thing, ma'am. Like, since a couple of things are not covered in his school yet, and he's new to some topics, so what we offer right now is like a very, very, very small session for SASMO, like just few 18 sessions or something like that. So
right,
what I
right.
was thinking that if you are comfortable, like if you're planning to go ahead with these sessions, then you can just have like a handful of like 5 to 10 extra sessions where we can just brush up his basics on certain topics and then
Mm-hmm.
take up those specific topics of SATMO, which would be coming in the exam as well.
Right,
So
right,
that would be a little better because I don't want to overburden him with something extremely new, which is just like the previous year question paper. So
right.
I want to build up the base stronger because what I believe is that currently his aim is not getting the best marks in the exam only. We are doing this so that he can start thinking in a different way
I
other than what
agree.
is being
Yes,
done in school
yes.
and other stuff.
Right, right. Yeah.
So you can think over it. You can discuss it with the team right there. They are the ones who, decide about the classes and how many sessions to be taken up. That's
Whom,
just a
ma'am? I'm
suggestion
sorry.
from my side.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Whom am I supposed to discuss with?
Were you in connection with Vishwajit sir, ma'am?
Oh, yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah. Yes, yes, yes.
he might have sent you the link for the demo or
Yes, yes,
things
yes.
like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can discuss it with him. He would tell you, like, of course, he would ask me back that how many sessions do you think is needed? But
Mm.
I feel that at least 5 to 10 sessions more than what we have. Like currently, it's a very, crash course kind of a
Right,
course for
right.
SASMO, which is very
Uh-huh.
limited. And it's like if we don't finish it in a day, it would be like a lag for him. So I don't want that to happen because he's new to a couple of topics. So I would request you that if you can think over or discuss it with Vishwajit sir about the number of classes, like if you increase it, what's going to happen, how's the
Mm-hmm.
price rate and things going to change.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm.
can discuss that with him
Okay, ma'am.
and
Yeah,
let me know about it.
fine.
Surely.
Where are you based out of, ma'am?
I'm from Jamshedpur. It's in Jharkhand.
Oh, well, nice, nice. We are from Bangalore, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So my son, we came back from the California 2 years ago. So for my son, all of this is new. So I
Yeah.
gave him a year to settle down, and now he has to accept our Indian rigor system.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely more.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, yeah. I think I
Yeah.
lost the network a bit.
Yes,
Can
yes,
you hear me now?
yes, ma'am. Much better. So yeah.
Okay.
So I think so. With these classes, do you think he would be prepared to attempt? I mean, if he puts his effort as well.
Yes, sure, sure, sure. This
Oh.
is as I told you, I told him in the beginning that see the difference between these sessions, like this Olympiad and the other Olympiads, is technically that the SASMO questions actually make this child think much deeper into the question. Like for example, he did this question almost correct, but then he
Uh-huh.
just forgot that one point to note that the frog is jumping in two different steps, like 6 and then a -4. So it's very
Uh,
easy to think that what he did was he found out the overall thing, that is 6 minus 4 2, and he straight away divided that with 50 and got 25 hours. But then
uh-huh.
the reality is it's 23, because exactly at the 23rd hour what will happen, that it's 44, And when he jumps 6 more, he will be already out of the drain. So there's no point of falling back 4 again. So this is like that
Oh,
one small thing which the child needs to think about twice.
right, right. Okay, okay. Makes sense.
So,
Nice. And
okay.
your background, ma'am, you do this full time or do you
No, not really. Thank you for asking. So
yeah.
I'm actually in Infosys as a product manager. I recently completed my MBA from XLRI. So I am a
Wow.
full-time product manager, but then
Okay.
I love teaching. So I started off with my YouTube channel also for teaching the higher grade students for MBA entrances. But then for these kids, I've been doing it for almost like 6+ years now, because I just finished college in my last year only. I started this thing, like my engineering college. So I
Okay. So
started
your
teaching
concepts are
students.
fresh then
Yes. And
compared to
so,
us.
much because of the MBA also, because maths is a very big thing there. My
Right.
subject expertise lies in mathematics and logical reasoning. I teach that over here in Olympiad Success.
Superb, ma'am. And SASMO is something
Yeah, yes, it's pretty good. I mean, when we make questions for those organizations also, so I've been making questions for 3 different Olympiads, like international Olympiads. I can't name them,
no, 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 that's
signed an
fine.
NDO.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I make questions which come in the exam. So over there, we have seen that in-depth analysis of how questions are filtered and how the questions are made, with a viewpoint that this can be a particular place where the students can go wrong.
I know, I
So
noticed, I read few questions where it's quite tricky. You're trying to tell us
yes,
something, but then there is another point.
correct. So that's how, like, if I will be helping, like, this is one added advantage to the students who are with me, that whenever they do the questions with me, I actually tell them beforehand that you have to be careful at this particular point. So this is actually a habit. It's a behavioral change, ma'am. Like, it's like if they do it for SASMO, for example, in future, if he's going for any other examination, he will have that tendency to look at that question with that perspective.
Right,
Maybe
right.
there's something fishy here, like that. So that's a behavioral change, not for
Cool.
an exam specifically.
Nice, nice, wonderful, ma'am. All right. So I'll
Okay,
connect with Mr. Biswajit sir and get back to
sure.
you. And your availability is only on weekends, I suppose, because you work full time.
We can discuss that out, ma'am. We have to see the calendar. It will take another few minutes for
All
me to.
right. Yeah, I can
Okay.
understand. Yes, ma'am. All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much
Thank
for your
you.
time on a Sunday. Thank you. Have a great,
Thank
have
you.
a great
Great,
week
great
ahead.
talking to
Thank
you.
you,
Bye
ma'am.
bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.